And hello, folks. It is Saturday evening, and I'm meteorologist Tom Kveka doing a little weather here for you. 71 and 48, your temperature and dew point out at AX. So it's a little bit dry, so there is some cooling power in the atmosphere for tonight. Now, we'll see some cloudiness, but I think we're in for a chilly night in the 40s, I would say. And then going up into LaSalle Parish, temperature down to 67 degrees with some cloudiness there, partly sunny, partly cloudy would be my guess at that one. And hello to all the folks out there, and thank Sinlaw Broadcasting for those cams, and thank Igloo Roofing for being a big sponsor for us. All right, satellite and radar. You see the features off to the south of us, a little front kind of stuck its nose into central Louisiana for today, and it's continuing to move south. They have it marked as a trough. I'd mark it as a little cool front. But we see more clouds off to the west of us. Now, this is mostly high and mid-level moisture, but it's an indication that the weather is going to be changing up on us here in the next couple of days. So lows tonight, my guess is 45 degrees, and that is below the long-term average of 51. That's established over 30 years of data from 1981 through 2020. We have 45 here for the metro area. There will be some readings as low as the lower 40s tonight, and some will hold in the upper 40s. So simply I can say that we will just range through the 40s for lows tonight. And once we get into the day Sunday, it will be a little higher than today and yesterday. 73 is the long-term 30-year average. I think we get pretty close to that with an average of 72, ranging from 69 to 75. Looks like there'll be a tendency for the warmer readings to be off to the southwest, and the cooler readings to be in those areas toward the north or the northeast part of central Louisiana. And in the upper level features, as we go into that, we can see the big trough. This is Monday at high noon, where we see this big dip in the jet stream. Let me outline that for you. Here's that northwesterly flow coming in, and then the wind changes. Again, this is at 20,000 feet, the steering level, as forecasters call it. And right in between, we have that trough axis. So this represents a big area where the air is being accelerated. There's forcing going on. This is why your weather changes, as I keep emphasizing during this segment. That's very important to understand. And we are right near that and underneath that for Monday. So things will get, the atmosphere will get excited, which means with warmth, moisture, instability, and these dynamics, we will see a risk of severe local storms from that. And then going into Wednesday, we still see just a little bit of a trough right here. You can see that flow. And again, this kind of represents the bottom of a roller coaster hill where the air can still be accelerated and so forth. And so I don't feel comfortable taking a rain chance out Wednesday. I added back to the 20% in the PM hours Wednesday on that. But once that gets through, the rest of your pre-Easter week looks pretty good with the opposite of a trough. This is the roller coaster hill now. It's called a ridge. And so if the trough, the southern dip, is usually means weather changes or inclement weather. This means good weather, but it is out ahead of a big disturbance out to the west, and that's typically what happens out ahead of these things. These ridges can pump up, and that's good news for our forecast because it means that much of the Easter week is going to be good. Out of respect for the dynamics and the weather situation that we've got going on for us there for Monday, the Storm Prediction Center has a level 2 risk out. They call that slight. I call it limited, as part of a pattern where we see a marginal to slight risk. I call it limited. So the overall threat is, again, limited in scope, limited in severity, as we can see it right now. You can see that the top thing is wind and hail and tornadoes. So all modes will be on the table here. Flooding, not so much, unless we get a couple of inches of rain in less than an hour in the wrong location. Then you can have a little bit of flash flooding there. So Monday and Monday night right now is the timeline. The limited risk includes a 15% of a severe event within 25 miles of your house. Strong thunderstorm wind is the primary threat, but the secondary threats will be tornadoes and hail. And speaking of tornadoes, here's a point I'd like to make. For the tornadoes, the quasi-linear convective system, QLCS, that just means a linear line or kind of a wavy line. Yes, I do think there would be potential for that, and that's where that risk is coming from at this point. But there's also some supposition that if we can get supercells, that's a question mark. So if we can get supercells, this will be looked at again by the Storm Prediction Center here during the overnight hours, and Nick and I will be looking at it as well. The severe threat level may be upgraded if supercell tornadoes are able to come into play in the forecast. And the most likely place that would be upgraded in that risk area would be probably northeast Louisiana, southeast Arkansas, and west central and northwest Mississippi, somewhere in that particular area. So that may be something to look for when Nick does his update for tomorrow and see what happens there. All right, we're back to the 7-day forecast then. For Sunday, an increase in clouds, no rain just yet. Chilly start, a much warmer Monday morning, indicating the strength of the turnaround and the pattern that we're going to see. Locally heavy rain is possible, 2+ inches in some locations. The severe weather risk, as we talked about, there will be one front that will come through. Did reduce the rain chances to 30% Tuesday and hold it during the morning hours. It'll be a little bit cooler Tuesday. Then a second kind of reinforcing front will come in, and that will drop temperatures even farther there for Wednesday morning. And it will be a cool day. That's definitely below normal. And there's that 20% risk with that leftover troughing that I showed you on the map. Once we get into Thursday, Friday, and not much change in the lows. Still hanging out in the low 40s there. But then as we go into Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter Sunday, looks like a pretty good weather pattern. Easter Sunday is beyond our 7-day forecast here, but I can tell you I have looked and I've looked at it, and I think Easter Sunday looks warm and a day with no rain, and so those days are shaping up well. And of course, the inclement pattern will occur before that in the Monday night time frame. All right, Nick updates you for tomorrow, and we'll see you again, and we'll be watching the